Hey everyone, so what I've decided is I'm going to make a video on class 10th physics topics because since most of you can't go to your coaching institutes or tuitions, whatever you were taking because of the pandemic going on, so why not just follow my YouTube channel because I'll be providing you the notes and I'll discuss all the topics in details, like I'll do the numerical theory part, everything. So let's see what I'm gonna do. Okay, so these are the three topics which I'll be covering in a time span of 15 days. So for these topics, firstly I'll do the theory part and do some numericals so that you can be sure of these three topics. Okay, what is force? The basic question which you must know. A force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change either the size and shape of the body or the state of rest or motion of the body. Okay, so अगर आप force apply करते हो so then there must uh, be some change happening there. Okay, uh, for example, let's see the example, then you will understand it more clearly. If you press a soft rubber ball from both the sides, its shape changes. Okay, so अगर आप rubber ball को press करते हो from both the side, then you'll see a change in its shape. Okay, if you push a box, it starts moving. When you push a box, you are applying a force on it. So you'll observe that the box starts moving. Or if the box was already moving and you applied the force to stop it, then you'll see that the box will stop because you applied a force in a direction opposite to the direction of its motion. So force basically changes size, shape, state of rest or state of motion of the body. Okay, so this definition you have to learn it to write as it is. You can understand it as well, but you have to learn it. Okay, types of forces. So there are basically two types of forces: contact forces and non-contact force. What is contact force? Forces which are produced and experienced when a body comes in contact with another body. Okay, so there these type of forces are produced only when somebody is applying on the force on the other body while being in contact with each other. Okay, so examples of these forces are this force are frictional force, tension force due to strain, normal reaction force, force exerted due to spring. So why frictional force? Why frictional force is contact force? You'll see when a ball, okay, let's see in the next slide, maybe I've explained it. Yeah, frictional force. When a body slides or roll over a surface, rough surface, okay, rough surface, rough surface, a force starts acting on it in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the body along the surface in contact. So what happens when a ball is rolling on the rough surface is the ball is rolling in a particular direction. Let's say it's rolling in the east direction. So you'll see, no, you'll not see, actually not see, but you'll observe that after moving through some distance, the ball will stop. Why has it stopped? Because force of equal because a force starts acting in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the ball. So after some time, it will stop because frictional force is acting on the body. So that is basically a contact force because the ball and the surface both are in contact with each other. That's why frictional force is acting. So it is a contact force. From the diagram, what you can see is here it's a box and you are applying a force in this direction. So frictional force starts acting in a direction opposite to it, to the force which you applied, and it is kept on a surface. So whenever anything is kept on a surface, it will obviously exert some force due to gravitation, which is that force is known as the weight. Okay, gravitational force. This is gravitational force. But why is it not moving down? Because it is balanced by an equal amount of force which is acting in the upward direction, you can see, and that is known as the normal reaction force. Okay, I'll explain it in the next slide. What is normal reaction force? Follow me till then. Let's see what is normal reaction force. When a body is placed on a surface, body exerts a force equal to its weight, but the body does not fall because the surface exerts an equal and opposite force on the body normal to the surface, which is called the normal reaction force. What I've told you, okay? Let's see example. See, for instance, if I have kept my phone on my hand, okay, so you'll thought obviously why will it move down, right? But let's see logically. The phone is applying weight equal, is applying a force equal to its weight, okay? So logically it should move down, but it is not moving down. Why? Because my hand is actually applying an upward force equal to the weight of the phone, in which is known as the normal reaction force. Okay, and why is it contact force? Because my phone and my hand both are in contact with each other. That's why this normal reaction force is acting. And then there is a tension force. What is tension force? When something is hanging from a string, okay, so let's say a ball is hanging from a string, but the ball is not moving down. With the similar logic, the ball should move down, right? Because it's applying a force equal to its weight, but it is not moving down. क्यों? क्योंकि string is applying an equal amount of force in the upward direction, which is known as the tension force. So these two forces balance each other, and therefore the ball doesn't move down. But if the ball is too heavy, then it might go down and it might just break. So in that case, weight will be greater than the tension force that could be applied. Let's see in the next slide. Effects of force. So what a force exactly does, that we have to see. The force can change the state of rest or state of motion of the body. When the force is applied on a stationary object, it starts moving in the direction of applied force. Similarly, a moving rigid body can be stopped by applying a force in a direction opposite to its motion. हाँ, so ये तो हमने ऑब्जर्व हमेशा किया है, बट लेट्स डिस्कस इट. सो फोर्स एग्जैक्टली करता क्या है? फोर्स क्या करता है कि अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है रेस्ट में और हम उसको पुश करेंगे, देन इट विल स्टार्ट मूविंग, और इफ द ऑब्जेक्ट वाज मूविंग एंड इफ वी अप्लाई अ फोर्स टू स्टॉप इट, देन इट विल स्टॉप. So force what is force actually doing? Force is changing the state of rest or state of motion, or even the shape or size of the object, what we will see. Okay, so for instance, let's take an example. A ball was there on the ground and you gave it a kick, a hard kick. Okay, so it started moving. Why did it start moving? Because you applied a force. Okay, we can stop a moving ball by applying force in a direction opposite to its motion. If a ball is moving and you apply force opposite to the direction of its motion, then the ball will stop eventually. A force can change the speed of the uh, or direction of motion, or both, depending on its direction of motion. Okay. थ्री केसेस. एक फोर्स जो होता है वो what else force can do? Force can speed up, force can speed down an already moving object. How? Forces applied in the direction of motion increase the speed of moving a body. Force applied in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of moving body decreases speed. In a perpendicular direction only changes the direction of motion without changing the speed. फोर्स जो है स्पीड चेंज कर सकता है, डायरेक्शन चेंज कर सकता है। नाउ स्पीड चेंज करने का दो अलग अलग केस है। इफ द बॉल was moving in the east direction and you applied a force on the ball in the east direction, then eventually it will speed up. Okay, um, that is easy to understand, right? But if the ball was moving in the east direction and you applied a force in the west direction, that is in the direction opposite to the direction of motion, then eventually it will speed down, it will decrease its speed. Now comes the case when the force will only change the direction and will not have any impact on the speed. Okay, if you apply a force perpendicular to the direction of motion, um, let's say कि it was moving in the east direction, ball was moving in the east direction, and you applied a force in the north direction on the ball, then it is only going to change the direction. It will not have any impact on its speed. Okay. Second effect, force can change the shape or size of the body. When the force is applied on a non-rigid object which is not free to move, it can either change the shape or size of the body. Okay, so what happens, this is the second effect of force. If we take a non-rigid object, why non-rigid object is important? Because for a rigid object it's not going to change the shape or size. For a non-rigid object, if you apply a force, then it's going to change the shape or size of the body. Okay, let's see an example. When a spring is hung from a rigid support, its length increases. Okay, you'll notice it. If a ball is hanging from a string, okay, eventually you'll see a length increase. There will be some increase in the length of the spring, sorry. Okay, note, force is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. Yeah, this you should know actually. Force is a vector quantity because when you apply a force, its magnitude is important and its direction is also important. So direction is also considered. uh, for force of the same magnitude applied from different direction will have different impacts, so direction has to be considered. So that makes force a vector quantity. Keep that in mind. Newton's laws of motion. When comes force, then we have to study the Newton's laws of motion. So let's see the first law. A body continues to be in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless an external force is applied on it. This law is also called the law of inertia. Okay, what is it? अगर कोई body है, if it is in a state of rest, okay, and you are not applying any force on it, then it will remain in that state. If it is moving and you are not applying any force on it, then it will keep on moving forever. Like for example, if a ball was moving and there was no frictional force on it, or if the floor was so smooth that there was no frictional force on it, then it will keep on moving forever. Okay, so that is the first law. If you are not applying any external force on an object, then it will remain in that state forever. Okay, this law is also known as the law of inertia. So remember this law as it is written, because बोर्ड एग्जाम में आप जो बुक में लाइंस रहती है ना, उसी में आपको डेफिनेशन लिखना होता है. Then only you are going to get the full marks. So please learn it also. Learning is also important for board's exam. Second law, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied on it, and this change in momentum takes place in the direction of the applied force. Okay. पहले बात क्या, इस सेकेंड लॉ इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि यहाँ से एक जो वेल नोन इक्वेशन होता है फोर्स का, जो हम बाकी सारे न्यूमेरिकल्स में अप्लाई करते हैं, दैट इज F इक्वल टू ma, वो यहाँ से निकल के आता है. So learn it, and I'm going to explain it also. What is momentum? What is why is it proportional to the force applied? Everything. Let's see in the next slide. Here, what is momentum? The momentum of a body in linear motion is the product of the mass of the body and its velocity. Mass and velocity, the product of it is taken, both of it is taken, then it is known as the momentum, which is usually denoted by P. Okay, P is equal to mv, where m is mass and v is the velocity of the body. So you can already guess that it has to be a vector quantity. Why is it a vector quantity? Why it has to be a vector quantity? Why not scalar? Because here you can see velocity, and we already know velocity is a vector quantity. So a product of the scalar and vector makes it a vector quantity. Okay. और उसका डायरेक्शन क्या होगा? अगर हम मोमेंटम वेक्टर है और उसका डायरेक्शन पता करना हो तो क्या होगा? its direction will be same as the direction of velocity of the body. Okay. इसका SI यूनिट क्या हो जाता है? kg मीटर पर सेकेंड. kg क्यों? मास और वेलोसिटी मीटर पर सेकेंड. CGS यूनिट वैसे ही ग्राम सेंटीमीटर पर सेकेंड. ये सब चीज़ें याद रखनी है, समझना है. ओके. So I think that's the end of it. So I'll discuss further in my next video. So, or you can also tell me in the comment section what you would like me to do in the next videos. I'll discuss everything what you would want me to discuss. And okay, bye, and share it to as many students as possible, because there are students who are not able to attend coaching institutes or tuitions, so this will be very helpful for them. Okay. And do tell me in the comment section what you would want me to make a video next, and I'll be covering these 3 topics completely in a time span of 15 days, so do follow my videos. Okay, bye.